Pretty crazy. Megyn Kelly is receiving a wave of backlash for seemingly defending Jeffrey Epstein by stating that he's not actually a pedophile because he's not actually into prepubescent children, but into teenagers. Take a listen to this.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn. Now they call it child sexual abuse material on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest.
So pretty disturbing stuff. For her, to be fully frank, she did say she's not trying to defend it whatsoever. She said she's not trying to justify it. Excuse me. So she did say that, and her giving a fact by saying what I've been told is XYZ is just her stating what she's been told as well. So it's still receiving a wave of backlash regardless. One thing she did say that's simply incorrect is she's saying out here the barely legal type. The last I've checked, 15-year-olds are not barely legal. It's illegal. Okay. They're under 18. It's illegal. So any sort of rhetoric trying to differentiate between anybody under the age of 18 is very clearly wrong in my eyes. Why are we even doing it? Like, what's the reasoning there? Okay, you can state facts, you can state this is what my friend told me, but what's the reasoning to want to try to distinguish between them when regardless it's bad and illegal? I think the effort to try to distinguish, or the desire to feel the need to distinguish, is saying something about a deeper or about an ulterior intent there. Personally, it just doesn't seem right. So regardless, though, let's just go ahead and see what some people on social media are saying. Let me just go ahead and share my screen here. So Megyn Kelly challenges Epstein pedophile label over 15-year-old victims. A conservative commentator, Megyn Kelly, drew backlash on her SiriusXM podcast after relaying an unnamed source's claim, which is exactly what we talked about. Critics from both parties accused Kelly of minimizing child trafficking, resurfacing her prior statements on minor inability to consent. Hi, everyone. Can we just again recognize that Megyn Kelly said basically if you're 15, it's not really pedophilia? What? This is career ending for Megyn. 15-year-olds are children. They can't drive. They can't see R-rated movies, but disgusting 50-year-old men should be allowed to R them. Goodbye. Megyn Kelly didn't say they should be allowed to do anything to them, but you could obviously see why people are getting so upset by these. This just odd desire to try to distinguish. I think it's just unnecessary. Megyn Kelly in 2018, there's no consenting for a 14 or even a 17-year-old. Megyn Kelly today, he was not a pedophile. Let's see what she actually said here.
You feel as a victim. You feel a victim. To people who are going to be out there, because some are going to judge and say you were 15, you were 16, you were 17, you were a willing participant. Again, the legal age of consent in California is 18, so there's no consenting for a 14 or even a 17-year-old in these circumstances.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know.
We just heard that, so no need to play it again, but you can kind of see the difference. Remarks there. Megyn Kelly has 3 kids. Why would she be okay with this? Bro, they're doing it. They're going to do it. They're defending pedophilia. And it goes on. And you see Republican Accountability tweeted Megyn Kelly. I know somebody very close to him. They're just basically quoting what she said there. What's so weird to me is like, who the hell is this chick on the right of her with the Jewish Star of David? And she's like, uh huh. Yeah, yeah, oh, definitely, yeah, yeah. Like, what, lady? Like, what's going? Like, you don't need to. Sometimes there's this need when you're interviewing people. I've noticed when people are being interviewed, or where you kind of nod your head all the time to try to show that you're like hearing them. There are certain things that you don't need to show approval of or nodding the head. It's like, lady, just stop. So here's another thing, though, that I wanted to show you guys that's pretty underreported, or most people don't remember it at all, is that, all of these claims of Jeffrey Epstein being sex trafficking, these when the allegations came up, they came up later in the 2000s. So what was going on in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003? Because the allegations weren't there yet. They weren't there yet. So he was still very powerful. He was still connected to a lot of elite figures. Did anybody know at the time, though, that he was sex trafficking? Or did anybody know at the time that he was attracted to younger women, younger children? Well, guess what? I found this article in the New Yorker, Vanity Fair, that I thought you guys would find pretty shocking to read. So let me just go ahead and play it here, or show it right here. Let me see if it shows clearly. There it is. The Talented Mr. Epstein. This came out in March of 2003 in Vanity Fair. Lately, Jeffrey Epstein's high-fly style has been drawing oohs and ahs. The bachelor financier lives in New York's largest private residence, claims to take only billionaires as clients, and flies celebrities including Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey on his Boeing 727. But his air of mystery and the picture changes. Vicky Ward explores Epstein's investments career, his ties to retail, magnate Leslie Wexner, and his complicated past. Okay, so now let's get into the very nitty gritty, odd, and conspicuous parts of this article that you guys are going to find really shocking. Again, remember, this is when everybody said they had no idea what Epstein was up to. Clearly, that was a lie, because some people did know, or some people at least had red flags. The article is very long. It does a very long, intensive look into Jeffrey Epstein's life. And I'm just going to scroll down to the part that shocked me, honestly. Pretty much shocked me. So here it is. It starts with the letter E here. There we go. Highlighted it for you guys. Epstein is known about town as a man who loves women. Lots of them, mostly young. Model types have been heard saying that they are full of gratitude to Epstein for flying them around. And he's a familiar face to many of the Victoria's Secret girls. One young girl, again, using the word young over and over, recalls being summoned by Ghislaine Maxwell to a concert at Epstein's townhouse, where the women seemed to outnumber the men by far. These were not women you'd see on the Upper East Side dinners, the woman recalls. Many seemed foreign and dressed in a little bizarrely. The same guests also attended a cocktail party thrown by Maxwell that Prince Andrews attended, which was filled, she says, with young Russian models. Some of the guests were horrified, the woman says, horrified at these Russian models. What were they horrified about? How young they were? What they were wearing? Were they just dressed up pretty, just showing everything? Very, young women showing everything. What exactly are they horrified about? Because it doesn't go so much in detail about just how grotesque these parties that Jeffrey Epstein was hosting. And again, notice that Prince Andrews was listed here, 2003, mind you. Okay, so this is while Jeffrey Epstein was still aloof and still had all of this power and influence that he doesn't obviously have anymore. He's reckless, says a former business associate, and he's gotten more so. Money does that to you. He's breaking the oath he made to himself that he would never do anything that would expose him in the media. Right now, in the wake of the publicity following his trip with Clinton, he must be in a very difficult place. And the article goes on and on. This is a very lengthy article. If you want to read it again, you can go ahead and do so by searching up The Talented Mr. Epstein in Vanity Fair, March 2003 issue. So there you have it. That's the public was aware that he was doing some grotesque things, as the article put it, with young women, quotes, air quotes, as the article put it, that were dressed up, just revealing everything, apparently, and Prince Andrews would show up. But nobody knew until all of the allegations started surfacing in the mainstream media and people started getting caught. Really? Really? No, his circle knew. His circle very much so knew. People of influence knew what was going on and they didn't report on it. They knew. So when you hear claims like Megyn Kelly's apparently trying to differentiate between prepubescent and post-pubescent children, it's sick because the desire or the need to differentiate between them causes a lot of harm for these children that were sex trafficked by Epstein. For by normalizing the sick behavior of these men, it does a lot of sick, damaging things to our society, and it's pretty interesting, because I've told you guys a lot before. These labels of Republican, Democrat, I find both of them BS. I consider myself just an independent thinker, so there's a lot of conservatives I love. There's a lot of left leaning individuals I love, and there's a lot of left leaning individuals I hate, and same with conservatives. So I'm right. I feel pretty individual in that sense. However, there is if what we're going to start to see here, especially from very strong advocates and supporters of Trump, is any desire to try to distinguish between the two is going to lead to a lot of uproar. We're already seeing that. We're seeing that on X. We're seeing that on Threads, and it's becoming It's not borderline. It's becoming very sick. And it needs to stop. It needs to stop very, very soon, very quickly, because otherwise it's going to cause a lot of very damaging long-term societal issues when we start to normalize or try to normalize anything around this sort of thing. It's sick. We have to keep it at that. It's sick. So that's really what I wanted to share there. Megyn Kelly.
As for Epstein,
she's definitely going to have to make some sort of statement about it today. I mean, she didn't tweet yet today from what I saw. She probably will. I mean, it's gotten like over 500,000 plus individual tweets about this video. So that's really what I wanted to say for this, guys. If you found this video interesting, make sure to click the subscribe button below. Also, would really appreciate some super chats in order for me to be able to just do these videos for you guys more and more often. Otherwise, I will see you guys here in the next